welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a new writing vlog. So this writing vlog is finally focusing on me outlining my new YA romance novel. If you've missed my last couple of vlogs, I will link the playlist down below for you to check out and catch up for the year. But I am currently in the process of brainstorming, outlining, preparing to draft my newest novel, which is like a Valentine's Day fake dating story, which I'm just so excited about. And this is not just an ordinary outlining vlog for me, because I'm doing something new, something different. If you know me at all, whenever I outline, I always use my handy dandy friend Save the Cat Writes a Novel. Specifically these days I've been using the Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult Novel, because I write young adult novels, and I just find that this version of the book has so many more details and it's just better than the original one. So I do tend to turn to this one more often these days, but this is my handy dandy outlining friend. I cannot outline a book without this sitting on my desk. So obviously I will still be using this to outline, but I will also be using Romancing the Beat by Gwen Hayes. This is a new addition to my writing process, and I'm so excited to start using it in this vlog, see if it really helps my writing process, helps me outline this book. My original plan for buying this book was to do a whole vlog series on me re-outlining and revising my adult rom-com using this book, and I still will do that, I think, later this year. But I thought it'd be helpful to use for this book as well. It is a young adult romance, but it's still at its core a romance novel, so I think that this will still be very beneficial to me. So it's literally just story structure, but for romance novels. I started reading it last night, just all of like the pre-stuff before she actually gets into the beats and whatnot, and already I'm really enjoying it. So I read the welcome chapter, the what is what, the theme, an aside about external plot, a structure in 4 phases, beat sheet, and where to start. So I did read quite a bit. I'm on page 27 now, and I've been annotating it as I always do. And so far I'm really liking the kind of like writing style of this book. She literally says, also, I'm often irreverent, and I quote pop culture, relying heavily on movies like Mean Girls and Taylor Swift songs and internet memes. Reading this book is going to be like hanging out with me on Twitter, and I'm really enjoying that whole vibe so far in this book. It's a lot of fun. So basically what this book's all about is it's a new tool for your writer's toolbox, a roadmap of the romantic journey your characters take in order to earn their happy ending by facing their biggest fears, a vehicle for her to drop 80s references. No, seriously, this book is littered with them. So it's so fun. So yeah, I'm just really excited to like delve into this. It talks about theme of romance novels, which at the end of the day is all about love conquers all, but also you can obviously have secondary themes as well. I specifically loved a lot of passages on this page. It says, so what does love conquer in your book? A long held on to shame, a fear of intimacy, a failed marriage, low self-esteem, trust issues, lonely Starbucks lovers, I mean a long list of ex-lovers. See, I told you, Taylor Swift song and internet meme. And then I specifically highlighted the next 2 paragraphs. So your characters each show themselves to you and the reader with a gaping hole in the place their heart should be. At the end of your book, they go from wholehearted to wholehearted via love conquering all. That journey from wholehearted to wholehearted is the romance arc for each character. The plot of your book is what you throw at them by way of obstacles that encourage them to confront that hole. So I'm very excited to kind of take that and delve deeper into my characters and make sure that they have gaping holes at the beginning of the book. So I'm very excited about that. And I just kind of like the way that she's wording things and explaining things about romance novels. I'm finding it really beneficial so far. She also talks about tropes and how tropes are a lovely thing. It says tropes, familiar and common plot devices used in storytelling, make the romance world go round. I think tropes have become such a topic of discussion in like the last year or so, 2 years, where people think that books are relying too heavily on tropes instead of just coming up with a good story idea. But honestly, tropes have always been inherently in books, and I think that tropes are just like an easy way to quickly describe a book to somebody else, giving them little keywords or things that they might like grasp onto as like being interested. Like if I hear a book has fake dating, I'm 10 times more interested in wanting to read it. I think the whole discussion on tropes is so interesting. But anyways, basically Gwen Hayes structures her books in 4 phases. Normally it's 3 acts, but for her benefit she splits it into 4 because she finds it more manageable that way. It just sounds easier than like thinking of like one huge chunk, because honestly the middle is always quite difficult, so she splits it into 2. So basically the 4 phases are the setup, falling in love, retreating from love, and fighting for love. So I'm very excited to try to implement these 4 phases into my outline. And then the beat sheet, which I've specifically tabbed off here so I can have easy access to it, she like delves deeper into what happens in each of those phases. Like in the setup, you intro your hero 1 and your hero 2, which is like the love interest in the main character, the meet cute, no way 1, and Adhesion plot thrust, so on and so forth. So I haven't delved deep into what these things actually are yet. That's what we're going to start today. And then she also compares like the romance arc to this symbol, which looks like that. It's called a caduceus, perhaps. So it says, each of the serpents is a protagonist and the rod they wrap around is love. In my own version of the caduceus, at each story beat, the protagonists circle each other once around that rod, then back away to their respective corners. But each twist brings them closer together because they don't have enough slack to get all the way back to where they started from. Their old self isn't the same, but neither is their new self. So yeah, that is kind of where I left off yesterday. I wanted to wait till today to start reading it so that I could start vlogging from the very beginning, but honestly I've been in such a mood to just like ingest all the writing craft things. Like I just really felt like learning something and annotating something, so I could not help myself but start this last night. But this is where we're getting into the meat of it, starting with phase 1, the setup. So last night I did kind of start roughly outlining using the Save the Cat beat sheet. In my journal during the last vlog, I kind of wrote down the beats that I did know, starting with Act 1. I find Act 1 always comes to me the easiest, just like in basic terms of like what needs to be done, because I find that usually it's the catalyst that comes to me first, I feel like, when I'm brainstorming a book. So I, in a vague sense, know all of Act 1 and then the break into 2, roughly overlooking what the fun and games is going to be, and then possibly what the midpoint is going to be. I am open to this book changing things and changing how I'm thinking about this book, but I basically just wanted to transcribe that onto my computer because I always mainly outline on the computer. Sometimes if I'm stuck I'll do it on paper, but typically just for ease of it all I'll do it on the computer. So I did write out Act 1 and kind of just put everything that was in here into the outline. I did kind of expand some things, write a couple new things down. I think I got a new idea about something, so that's done. But for all intents and purposes, Act 1 is finished. I do need to delve deeper into the setup and expand it a little bit more, and my outlines do tend to be quite detailed. So currently it's sitting at 568 words and not all the beats are filled in, and that's way too small. Mine are at least 5,000 words, if not more. So I definitely need to add way more details into this, but I didn't want to actually outline last night. I just kind of wanted to do whatever I knew, whatever I had in mind already. And then I have a little bit of the break into 2 in the midpoint, but after that it's pretty much empty except for roughly what the finale is going to be, which is the second to last beat. So I'm excited to kind of jump into this book today and figure out what she has to say about phase 1, the setup, which I'm assuming is what Act 1 is in the Save the Cat beat sheet. I guess I'll have to see how I want to combine these 2 beats together to make my own little outline situation. I don't know, but I'm very excited. My friend Rachel Moore, who wrote The Library of Shadows and Us in Ruins, absolutely loves this book, and I adore her romances in her stories. So I'm hoping that I get as much out of this book as she does. So I'm genuinely just so excited to jump into this and just kind of soak up all the information from it that I can, and hopefully make some good headway in the outline today. I kind of have it set for this whole month to do the outline. I don't know if it's going to take me all month to, you know, really get it to the place that I want it to be. I also still need to work on some character profiles a little bit because I did not finish that in March, so that is something else that I do need to work on. So we're just gonna see how this goes, but we're gonna start with phase 1 and hopefully I can make some good progress today. Reading the phase 1 section. I read each little beat and I've been trying to implement it into my outline. So originally I had my outline pulled up that I started yesterday that was, you know, doing the Save the Cat beat sheet, and I was trying to find a way to like slip in the beats from romancing the beat, trying to find, you know, the connections of like where I think these beats would fall into the Save the Cat beats. And while I was reading, I was trying to take note of that as well, being like, okay, I think this could go during the debate beat, or like this is obviously the setup beat. And then I realized that wasn't really working for me, so I've now started a separate page lower down in the document, and I'm just setting up this beat sheet, and then eventually I will merge them together. I think it was just too confusing looking at all the beats together. This is how we're going about it. So far I have the intro, your hero. It does say intro hero 1 and hero 2, but I'm thinking that's more so if you're doing like a dual timeline maybe? I don't know. So for now I just have intro hero 1, which is Isabel, and then I have the meet cute and I have the adhesion plot thrust. So the only one I'm missing is no way 1. So basically the intro is where you're just introducing your characters. I've also marked off each phase with a sticky note on the side here so I can easily flip to it. So we have introducing hero 1 and 2. But yeah, the objective is to introduce protagonists in a way that makes that character compelling. So show your character's slice of life, but throw a hitch in it, and give or introduce your character's external goal, and introduce or hint at what your character needs. So I think this is like combining the opening image and the theme stated of Save the Cat. So I haven't gone into the full details yet of like the hero's needs and wants and all of that. But I've got the basis of it down so far. Then we go into the meet cute, which is basically just the first time that you see the two characters together on the page. So whether or not they knew each other before the story or not, it doesn't matter. It's just the first time that you are seeing the characters together. And in my case, the characters do already know each other, so this is just, again, the first time you're seeing them together on the page. And it says sparks should fly. Like, that's the whole point. Like, it's just a memorable way for your two characters to meet. So that one I think I need to workshop a little bit, but I have ideas. And I think I need to remember, I feel like I'm getting stuck in a mindset of like everything needs to be perfect the first time I put it down in the outline, which is just ridiculous because I can come back and adjust it anytime I want, and even if I sit down to start drafting, I can change it. But sometimes I get stuck in these ruts, especially if I'm doing a video like this where I'm like taking it step by step, and I'm like, I don't want to like move forward unless I have that step complete, but like That's dumb. Let's get out of that mindset right now. Like, this is stupid. Then we have No Way number 1, which is the argument your character voices against falling in love. The character basically says either out loud or in internal dialogue the reason that he or she will not fall in love. Not now, not ever, but especially with the character from the Meet Cute. This one I'm struggling with a little bit because it's been in my head that the whole kind of like motivation for Isabel is to get back together with her ex-boyfriend, and I'm wondering if I should change that to something else, like maybe more so like she doesn't want to look weak in front of him, doesn't want him to win in a sense by breaking up with her, and he's moved on with somebody else and she's not. So maybe just having like the illusion that she has moved on is what she's looking for. I don't know. That one I do need to figure out, but I'm kind of thinking maybe I don't want making the ex-boyfriend jealous. But then I don't know. You guys are just getting my like in the moment thoughts, but that one is one that I have not figured out and I need to come back to it. And then we have the adhesion. And this one says the story needs to be crafted in a way that neither of them can walk away from the other. This beat pushes you into the second act. It's a plot thrust. They cannot walk away from the other now, not until they see this conundrum through. They are stuck. The door to the first phase, Act 1, closes firmly behind them. So I think I have the adhesion plot thrust. It's when the fake dating scheme begins. So I need to workshop this a little bit more, like I said. So I think I'm gonna take a bit of a break because it's almost dinner, and then I have a Hunger Games live show, and then I think I'll get back to this kind of in the later evening. But so far, enjoying this. It's definitely making me think about things, making me think about how to change things. Sometimes I do get very stuck in like my very first idea for something and reluctant to change it. So this is gonna force me to maybe think harder about some things and try to adjust them to be better. Hey guys, so it is the next day and I have been working on my outline, working on implementing the beats from Romancing the Beat, and I think I did it. So I think I mentioned yesterday that I was doing the beats from this book separately to Save the Cat because it was getting to be too much trying to do it all at the same time. And I just finished doing all the beats. I almost finished it yesterday, but I couldn't quite figure out the No Way 1 beat, and I can't remember if I told you guys that or not. So I did a little bit of brainstorming, I think, before I finished for the day and went to bed. And I just sat down and typed it all out, and then I meshed it with the Save the Cat beat sheet. So I'm still missing some scenes in terms of outlining via Save the Cat. Like, I don't have full scenes fleshed out yet, and it's nowhere near as detailed as I'd like it to be, but I don't think I want to have to get to that point before moving on with this book. So I think I'm gonna read phase 2 now. And I think originally I was gonna plan for this vlog to be me working on this entire book, but now I'm potentially thinking of splitting it in half. So doing phase 1 and phase 2 in this video and phase 3 and phase 4 in the next writing vlogs. I think that might work a little bit better just because I know that I can yap, and I know that this video is going to end up being really long because all day today I was editing my first writing vlog back that would have gone up probably quite a while ago, and it's over 40 minutes. Girl, you gotta stop talking, which I realize I'm just yapping now too. So back to the point, I'm just doing phase 1 and phase 2 in this video, and I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is move on to phase 2 now, figure out the phase 2 beats if I can, and then also make sure that I get my like detailed outline by the end of this video potentially. So I just feel really antsy to continue reading this book, if I'm being completely honest. I'm just really enjoying learning more about writing craft and just really like I don't know, really just like getting into it and annotating. I'm just really enjoying annotating writing craft books right now. Like I really enjoy doing it with the Happy Writer, which was what that first writing vlog was about, and now I'm really enjoying doing it with this as well. So I just feel really antsy to sit down and keep reading this. So that is what I'm gonna do, and then we're gonna try to do some more outlining. It's currently 10 p.m. so I don't know how late I'm gonna be working tonight because I do have to go to work tomorrow, but thankfully it's not till like the later part of the afternoon, so it's not like I have to wake up early or anything. So we are gonna see what I can get done, what I feel like getting done, how easily I can get these beats, because we all know the middle is the hard part, and that's what phase 2 and phase 3 are. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. So the other day I was able to read phase 2 of Romancing the Beat and get a little bit of work done in the outline regarding phase 2, but it's been so long since I've outlined a book that I think I forgot just how difficult it is to outline the fun and games beat, which, you know, is basically what phase 2 is. And yeah, so I think I need to let things simmer a little bit. I also felt the need to like flip forward in the book and read phase 3 and phase 4 just to get like a full picture of how Gwen Hayes breaks down the romance arc in terms of the different beats and what she had to say about everything. So remember when I said that I wanted this video to just be phase 1 and phase 2 and I'll outline it and then I'll go ahead and in the next vlog do a phase 3 and phase 4? Well, we're scrapping that idea because I just need to continue and see everything that Gwen Hayes has to say, and then I'll just end this video when I feel like we have enough of footage, but it's definitely not going to be all outlined in this video. There's no way. So we're just going to try to do what we can. I'm also thinking I'm going to jump around in the beats, and you know, if I figure out a beat for phase 4 before I figure out something for phase 2, then that's fine, you know? It is what it is. I think she even says near the beginning of the book, like, you can plan these out of order, like it's fine, and that's how I normally outline anyways. I just kind of jump around and figure out what I know and what I don't know and then fill in the gaps. And yeah, I don't know why I'm trying to structure it so strictly just for the sake of having like a video series, you know what I mean? Like, I want to outline how I normally outline, you know? So today we're gonna focus on reading, I think, the rest of this book, which I'm very excited about, because I've been very into this and very into the whole annotating part of it. Like, I feel like soaking up knowledge and information right now and annotating a good writing craft book. So I'm having a great time with this and I can't wait to, like I said, finish it today. But it's also my plan to try to work on the outline more, not just read this. So I was thinking about it, especially for like the fun and games beat, but honestly just for like the rest of the book, because I know what the timeline of this book is. Like, I know how many days this book is going to be. So what I kind of want to do is sit down with some loose leaf paper. We're taking it back old school, doing pen and paper, and I'm going to try to figure out what's going to happen on each day to make sure that I can separate everything going on in all these different beats in a nice way. Like, I want to make sure that it's like good pacing and make sure I know what's happening on each day essentially, and I feel like that will help me outline a bit better. Here we go. I just feel like it's been so long since I've outlined a book because it's been so long since I've written a book. I haven't written a new book since 2023. Oh geez, it's been nearly 2 years since I've last outlined and written a book, and that's absolutely wild because I do try to write a new book every single year because I don't want this exact thing to happen where it's been so long since I've done this part of the process that I forget how to do it essentially. Like, honestly, every time I sit down to outline, every time I sit down to draft, part of me does feel like it's the first time that I'm ever doing it. And I guess in a way it is, because it's the first time that I'm doing it for that specific book, and each book comes with its own challenges and its own things to figure out. And I guess I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed with trying to figure everything out. But regardless, like, I'm just so excited that I'm even at this stage, because it has been so long since I've been able to like crack a book enough to get to this point. If you guys watched any of my writing vlogs last year, I feel like I was always like trying to work on another project alongside of doing revisions on my book What You Mean to Me. Like, I have so many other projects that I want to work on, and just none of them were like coming together enough for me to even get to this stage and to even like really sit down and think about drafting. So regardless of how difficult this is, you know, I'm trying to channel my happy writer, if you guys saw that vlog a couple vlogs back, and trying to acknowledge, you know, the good things, like what I am accomplishing and how good that feels, and try not to just focus on how difficult it is, because it is really rewarding that like I'm at this stage and I'm like getting through the process. Like it does feel really good. So anyways, I'm hoping for good things today. I am getting a much later start on my day than I wanted to. It's literally 3 p.m. And I've just sat down to do some work, and it's because I let my cats in my room last night to sleep with me, and they kind of kept me up. Like, I honestly feel like a true mother when I let them sleep in the room with me, because I feel like I'm never fully asleep. I'm like trying to listen out for like them doing anything mischievous, kind of like how a mother is always listening out for like a baby's cry in the middle of the night. That's kind of how I feel like when I let them into my room. Like, are they trying to like jump on my furniture? Are they trying to knock something over? Like, are they trying to mess up my like blankets? Like, so I did not get a very nice night's sleep, so I slept in a little bit later, and then it's just kind of been slow going since then. But that does not mean that I'm not gonna have a productive day. So we're gonna get started. I'm going to jump into reading some of Romancing the Beat, and we shall see if I stop at any point to do some outlining, if I get struck with some inspiration, or if I just want to like straight through read the entire book. That way I have all the information, and then I can just kind of jump back in as need be. But this is where we are starting today. Hopefully good outlining things will be occurring, because I really want to get a move on this book. But it's also fine. Like, I've planned this whole month to be my outlining month, and it's only the 7th currently of April, so it's fine if I don't like finish the outline today. You know, like, I don't know why I'm putting so much pressure on myself to finish this early. Like, I gave myself the entire month. Brittany, calm down. Okay, we're gonna jump into Romancing the Beat now. It's the next day now, and I had to charge my camera up yesterday, and then I just didn't honestly feel like picking up the camera after I updated yesterday. So here we are. I seem to have hit a bit of a roadblock. Seem to be stumbling a little bit. And you know what? This usually happens in the outlining phase around the fun and games, which is kind of what I'm mainly trying to work on right now. And I just need to remind myself of that it always gets hard around this point, and I always get through it. And you know, this is why I've given myself the entire month of April to outline this book, because I know that sometimes for me it's difficult to figure out all the individual scenes, which unfortunately is something that I need to know in order to write the book. That's unfortunate. So I didn't get too much done yesterday. I did start writing down what I wanted to happen day by day, but I only got to day 2 and I did not finish. So it was that kind of day. And I did finish Romancing the Beat. I really enjoyed it. I'm really excited to implement things from this once, you know, the ideas start flowing again and I can find my flow. I didn't mean to just say flow twice, but that's fine. So I will be continuing to reference this as I outline. For now, I'm feeling so tired. I am feeling so blocked, and it's really frustrating. So I think instead of just sitting here and trying to force something to happen and essentially just wasting time because I'm just staring at the screen or fooling around online when I should be doing something productive, I think I'm gonna read instead and see if maybe that gives me some inspiration, maybe that'll open up something creatively in my brain. I don't know. I have been reading. I've been reading Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. I got an arc of it on NetGalley, so I've been reading that recently, but that is obviously completely different to what I'm writing, so that is not in any way, shape, or form going to serve as inspiration for my project and like help inspire me at all. So I am reading that on my phone because that's the only way I can read ebooks. I don't have a Kobo or anything like that, and I was gonna pick up a YA romance, which would be beneficial, but it's been sitting on my desk for days and I haven't picked it up, so I think that's not what I'm in the mood to read. So I think instead I'm gonna reread Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is one of my favorite Christina Lauren books, but I've only ever read it the one time. But there's a special deluxe edition of this book coming out in May, I think at the very beginning of May, and I want to buy it. And so I figured now would be the perfect time to reread it so that I can see if I still love it as much as I did the first time, to see if I want to order the special edition, because right now it's sitting in my cart and I want to buy it. But also I've been wanting to annotate this book, but I wanted to have another copy of the book before I annotated it. But I'm thinking I'm just gonna go for it, because either way I'll probably end up buying the deluxe edition, and then I might buy the new paperback as well. It's not new at this point, but like this is like the original cover. So I'm gonna sit down and read this for a little while. I do work tomorrow in the morning, so I can't go to bed too late tonight. So I would like to try to do some writing later today, but honestly, if it's not working, it's not working, like whatever. And I can try again tomorrow after work, or you know, the next day. I don't really know. We are trying our best over here, but it's been a while since I've just let myself like sit down in my chair and read in my book. So I'm gonna do that. It is now April 10th. It is Thursday, and I've been doing a little bit of writing. I'm not gonna lie, the last couple of days have been a little bit rough in terms of getting progress made. You know, the fun and games are just really difficult. It's such a daunting beat because it's one of the longer beats in, you know, the whole book, and it's the beat that is the promise of the premise, as they coin it in Save the Cat. So it needs to be good, and I know that for me it doesn't need to be perfect this first go around. It doesn't need to be perfect in this outline, it doesn't need to be perfect in the draft, and I know this. I've done this many times, like I'm fully aware of this fact, but it doesn't make it any easier, you know? So I've been struggling the past couple of days trying to figure out a way to unlock this beat for me, unlock these scenes and figure everything out, and I think I'm getting there. I think I've made definitely more progress today than I have in the past few days, which is really great. So let me tell you what I've been up to. I think I mentioned the other day that I was taking a pen to paper and writing things down day by day, and this was working fine, except I think I needed more direction than just day one, this happens, day two, this happens. I needed to actually have the beats written down as well. So what I did today was I took little sticky notes and I wrote down the romancing the beats and kind of put down what day I think that they would happen, so I would know kind of the key points that I would have to hit in each day, because it's obviously a short timeline that I'm dealing with, not the shortest that I've ever done, but for some reason, even though I have 5 days that I'm working with here, it feels really what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It feels very tight. Like I don't have enough time to develop the relationship, and I know that's not the case. I'm gonna find a way to do it, and I think I'm finding a way to do it. I might add a day into this. So originally it was going to be like the Valentine's Day Spirit Week, you know, what's happening in the schools. We go from Monday to Friday, and that's kind of the book. But I think I might extend it Monday through Saturday, and have what I was wanting to happen on the Friday, which is the last day of the Spirit Week, happen instead on Saturday, just to give myself a little bit of extra time, which I feel like is very much so needed. So we're gonna see if that helps or if it turns out to be unnecessary. I don't really know. Like I said, it kind of feels tight for everything that I want to happen. So we're going to see what we can do. And I already know that obviously draft 1 isn't going to be perfect, and it might not even be good at all. I don't know. But I already know that I'm not going to hit all of the things that I want to hit, which is fine. I love revising, and I love being able to like add things into a book. That's kind of what I always have to do anyways, because I'm a severe underwriter. So like I know that there are some character things, some character traumas that I might not get the chance to fully explore in this first draft, but I'm not worried about it, because the first draft for me is just me kind of telling myself like the bare bones of the story. It's just me getting the beats down. It's me, you know, working things out. I mainly focus, I would say, on like the romance and the main two characters bonding and connecting in the first draft, and then it's the other drafts where like I beef up like the side characters and make them more of their own people and like have their own stories and things going on. And it's where, you know, I kind of just like build up the world a bit more, I guess, and build up the characters on their own a bit more, delve into them further. So I'm not worried about it. It's just something that I already know before I've even gotten to drafting. You know, it's just one of those things that I know about myself. And that's fine, because nobody is reading draft 1 but me. Anyways, so after I did this and put down the sticky notes and figured out roughly what beats from Romancing the Beat I think would hit on each day, I then turned to my official outline on my computer, and I realized it was kind of stressing me out having just the fun and games in and amongst all the other beats. So I moved to a new document where I'm breaking down the fun and games beat into each day, and kind of just like inputting things that way. I don't know why my brain works like this, like why I constantly have to be working in separate documents instead of just one, but it's just the way that my brain works the best, you know? So right now, working in this new document, organizing the fun and games a little bit deeper, you know, having it in separate days and just not having to look at the full outline while I'm doing it, I think is helping, and is, you know, helping to unlock some things and just make it a little bit better. So once I'm done this, I will input it into the official outline, but for right now it's working. I don't have everything planned. Like, I'm currently on Wednesday, but that doesn't mean that I have absolutely everything from like Monday and Tuesday figured out. Monday continues from Act 1 into Act 2. It's not a whole lot, but it's a little bit there, but it's right now mainly Tuesday that I've got planned out. That's taking up a big bulk of the beginning of the fun and games beat. But now I'm trying to work on Wednesday, but I decided to make myself a hot chocolate, as you guys saw, because it is a dreary day outside. It is raining and it was kind of cold in here, and I thought that I would treat myself. I'm feeling better today than I have. I wouldn't say I feel good fully, but I'm feeling better, and progress is progress, and I feel like I'm making some steady progress today. So I am going shopping with my friend later, and I'm going to be filming a separate kind of like reading vlog, book shopping kind of vlog during that, which I do need to film an intro for soon. But I'm going to work on this for a little bit longer, and then I might film that intro for the video just to make sure that I get it done before I forget, and then I might shift from writing to working on something else. But for now, I'm feeling at least motivated. I'm also not playing music today because I've been finding that music has been more distracting than it usually is. I always listen to music when I write, but Michael Clifford released his solo single recently, Cool, and it's all I've been listening to. I've been listening to it on repeat, and it is a very distracting song. Like, all I want to do is like move around in my seat and like dance in my seat a little bit as it's playing, and that is really not productive while I'm trying to write and like use my brain. So I've opted for a like coffee shop ambiance that's playing like some soft jazz in the background, just so I can kind of focus a little bit more, and so far it seems to be working because obviously there's no lyrics for me to sing and dance to. So here we are. I'm gonna get back to work because I've been yapping your ear off a little bit too much. So cheers, let's get to work. I just finished outlining Act 1 of my Valentine's Day book. Everybody cheer. It's not as detailed, I feel like, as my outlines typically are, but I think I'm okay with that because I already know that like my draft is going to be sparse to begin with. It's fine, and maybe I'll come back and add more details as I continue the outline, but it was making me feel really shitty that like nothing was ticked off in my writing goals in my bullet journal. Like, none of the outlining stuff was crossed off, even though like I have made progress in a lot of the beats in the outline. I just hadn't like finished anything. So I took a break from the fun and games because that was causing me a lot of headaches, and I sat down and went back to Act 1 to work on that, and I feel okay about it. I made some good progress in it yesterday. It's currently April 16th, by the way, but I made, was it yesterday? Or was it 2 days ago? It was 2 days ago. It was not yesterday, I don't think. Was it yesterday? Oh my god. Did I do any writing yesterday? I feel like I'm like mentally breaking down. Like, I feel like I can't remember anything that I've done. I don't think it was yesterday. Yesterday I video chatted Peyton. I went to IKEA. I worked. I sat in bed and played games on my phone. Like, I don't think I did any writing yesterday. But now I'm like second guessing myself. I don't know. Recently I did some writing, worked on Act 1 a little bit, and then I just went in and finished it right now. And overall, I'm pleased with where we are sitting at for Act 1. I've got all the beats down from Save the Cat and Romancing the Beat, and I'm feeling okay about that. And you know what? I just feel very okay about the fact that things can change when I sit down to actually draft the book, and that I can add more details and discovery write little things as I'm drafting. Will I regret that when I actually sit down to draft and I'm struggling because I hate drafting? Maybe, probably, but it's okay. I say this every single time I am like outlining a book or preparing to write a book, and there always comes a point when I can like see myself drafting the book and I just don't care anymore about the outline. Like, there will be things where I know I can add more detail, I just don't care to, you know. And I feel like I'm hitting that point just with Act 1. Like, I don't want to think about Act 1 anymore. It's the other beats, the other acts that I am more concerned about. I have like nothing for Act 3. I know what I want to happen in a general sense in the finale. Like, I know like what the grand gesture moment is from Romancing the Beat. Like, I know what I want to happen, just not details of it, and I don't know how we get from point A to point B. You know, like, I don't know how we get from the end of Act 2 to what happens in the finale and like my main character's plan to like, you know, make things all right again. And I also don't know exactly where this book is ending. Like, I don't know exactly how I want it to end. I normally have like a little like epilogue-y type last chapter where you get like a little time jump to see where the characters are, where they're happy. Sometimes it could be a week, sometimes it could be a couple of days, sometimes it's a couple months, sometimes it's a year. Like, it really ranges, but I do like to show the characters in a bit of a happier place, in a more settled place. Like, that's just not like their moment where like they get together and they're all happy. Like, a little moment after that is typically where my books end, and I don't know what that looks like in this book yet. So that is something else that I really need to figure out. But I think right now I need to focus on Act 2 and try to beef that up a little bit. Return to the fun and games. As much as I hate it and as desperately as I don't want to work on it, like, I just need to. So I need to sit down and work on that today, because like I said, it's the 16th, so we are about halfway through the month, and my goal is to outline the book this month. So I need to get on that and finish it. Did I talk about doing side character profiles the other day? I don't think that I did. I worked on some side character profiles the other day. Just very basic information. I can always expand upon it for later drafts, but I feel like for me and my writing process and the way that I draft, side characters come later, so I'm not too concerned about it. But I did need to know like a little bit about them so that like they can be in draft 1. They just might not be as fully formed as they are going to be in later drafts. So I did figure out more about my main character Isabel's best friends. We have Felicity and we have Wren, and I'm very excited about them because until the other day I literally just knew what they looked like and like 1 or 2 things about their like personalities, and now I know a little bit more and I'm excited about that. Like, I know some hobbies, although Wren doesn't have any hobbies yet. I don't fully have Wren figured out as a character, so I need to return to her a little bit. But like, I know things about their families, and like some of that just like came together, and I like wrote it down, and I'm like, where did you come from? Like, where did this detail come from? How did this like I wrote it down with such confidence, and then like I stopped for a second. I'm like, where did that come from? And then I figured out a little bit about Eli's best friend Clay, so I've got him down a little bit, and I'm very excited about him. He looks very charming to me. Like, the picture that I found for his like inspiration, like, he's just a charming cutie patootie. Like, I'm very excited to write him, and I know that he's gonna build up, and I potentially have a connection between him and Felicity that I'm kind of excited to play with in later drafts, because I know it ain't gonna be developed in this first draft, because that's just how I write books, you know? That's just my process. So that is what I did the other day. Okay, we're gonna jump back into the fun and games, and I'm really not looking forward to it, but here we go. Hey guys, it's now April 22nd, and I don't even know the last time I updated you or what I updated on, but writing has been kind of sporadic for me recently, and I've been struggling a lot with the outline, and that usually happens, you know, in Act 2 in the fun and games beat, which is a lot of what I've been working on. In terms of Save the Cat, I'm working on Act 2. In terms of romancing the beat, I'm working on phase 2 and phase 3. That's kind of what takes up Act 2 primarily, though. Phase 2, so Act 2, phase 2, which is the whole falling in love beat and romancing the beat. So I've been having some difficulty figuring things out. I decided to take a different approach and just start writing things in like, maybe this happens, and just kind of throwing ideas at the outline, at the screen. And I like to differentiate it from things that I've kind of like solidified. I've put it in bold and italics so it stands out, so I know that like I can come back to that and like solidify everything and figure out if that's actually something that I want to do, pick which option I like best, things like that. I'm still missing like a lot of things, but in terms of like what I've done today, I have figured out quite a few different beats. Jojo, Joey, hi cutie, I love him. I've figured out quite a few different beats. I have a couple of different options for the maybe this will work beat that is in romancing the beat, and I think I figured out the midpoint. The midpoint I thought I had figured out, but it actually fits better in the maybe this will work, and then it kind of continues into the midpoint, and it kind of everything just kind of comes to a head in the midpoint, and I think this works so much better. Originally I was writing it in like the bold italics because I wasn't sure, but the more and more that I was like figuring it out, I was like discovering things, and I was like, oh my god, like I think this is the midpoint. And the outline is where, like, okay, the outline and draft one is where a lot of discovery writing comes for me. Like, obviously I thoroughly outline my books, so a lot of the discovery process is in the outline of like figuring out what happens and what comes next. The discovery writing as I'm drafting is more so in like specific lines and like, you know, what characters specifically do with what I'm doing. Like, there's tons of things where I'm like, the character says something like this, and then I figure it out when I'm drafting. But I just had like a lot of good little like discovery moments where as I was typing I was like, oh my god, Joey does not like when I close the door and lock him in here. But Jojo, it's too loud and you can't even see him. It's too loud in the rest of the house to have the door open right now, buddy. I'll let you out in a minute, okay? Just let mommy finish the vlog. Yeah, let mommy finish the vlog. Yeah, so I figured out the midpoint, I think. I'm really excited, and I kind of finished organizing the rest of the beats in terms of the romancing the beats, how they fit into the save the cat beats, so that I can, you know, better try to figure everything out. I am gonna stop for the night though, although I do feel like I'm on a bit of a roll, simply because it's 9 p.m. It literally just struck 9, and I do work tomorrow, and I want to get some reading done before I have to go to bed, I think. I'm kind of excited to write this scene. Like, this is kind of one of those scenes right now where I'm like, ooh, I cannot like wait to write this part. And I'm like really excited about it. Like, this month's almost over, and no matter what state this outline is in, unless it's like actually not finished, like unless there's beats that are fully missing, which hopefully won't happen, but like come May 1st I am drafting this book, and that feels so good to say because I've not drafted a book in quite a long time. Like, I think the last one was what, 2023, which for me is a long time. Like, that's a long time. I try to write a book every single year, so like I'm really excited about this, and I'm just glad that I had some sort of breakthrough today. Like, I didn't do as much work as I would like to do, but to be fair, I only sat down to write for like a half hour because I did work today, and like I said, I have a book that I want to read and it's already late, and like, you know, so like for a half hour, that's not some bad work, you know. I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna end this vlog here because I realized that it's so long and I want to have at least one more outlining vlog before I start drafting. So I'm gonna end this vlog here. The next vlog will be me completing the outline, which I'm very excited for. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Comment down below and let me know what you've been up to writing wise recently. I'd really love to know. Maybe also let me know what your favorite part of the process is, because if you've been on my channel at all, you will know that I typically enjoy whatever part of the process I'm not currently working on. Like, I will say I love outlining until I'm actually sitting down outlining, and I never say that I like drafting, because I just don't like drafting. Typically I love revising the most. It just kind of depends which stage of revision I'm in, and it's typically the one that I'm not currently doing, unless it's like a later revision, like the final revisions and like line edits and things like that I enjoy doing. But anyways, let me know what your favorite part of the writing process is down below. Subscribe if you've not yet already, and I'll see you guys next time.